Many people, when they start creating content for Instagram and running their own blog, they start with the idea that only when they have 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, or even 100,000 followers will they finally start making money from their blog. What is the actual truth? The truth is that if you have a product that you want to sell and you are running your blog as an expert, it is important to recognize how your expertise can help you connect with your audience and build trust with your readers. If you have a service or some kind of product, if you don't start selling even when your followers are minimal, you won't see any sales content being viewed, and you won't have the motivation to keep your Instagram active, to keep going, or to create even more content, and you might not even reach those higher stages. Because you're making content, making it, some followers are joining, sure, but when there's no result from that, when no money is coming in, when people aren't buying from you, you won't have the motivation to keep doing this work. When you have minimal followers, a decent audience, and with that, sales are already happening, this becomes one of the best helpful tools to keep doing this work, to do it better, to even fix mistakes along the way, and to promote yourself correctly. In today's video, starting from just 1,000 followers, actually, you can even do this with fewer than 1,000. I'll explain as best as I can based on my experience how to set up sales step by step with 1,000 or more, what tools are available for us to sell here, and what actions we need to take. We've prepared a small gift for those who watch the video until the end. That is, we've put together a PDF with the sequence of steps and tools needed during the process of gathering up to 1,000 followers on a new profile. In that PDF, we've also included the tools that brought me over 50,000 followers from a single reel. God willing, it will be useful for you. Don't forget to hit the like button at the start of the video. First of all, when you're starting to make sales on your page, you need to ensure that you have sufficient traffic. That is, you need to have a number of people or visitors who could potentially buy. It doesn't necessarily have to be 10,000 or 50,000. Just have some number of followers, whether it's 800, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, or 3,000. And the higher this number is, the higher the probability of your sales potential being greater. And why these people followed you, who they recognize you as, how they might address you, and what kind of expert or person they see you as is one of the main factors here. But whatever the case, having a number of followers here, having someone watching you is one of the simplest foundations for making some kind of sale. Let's imagine you have 1,000 followers, and what percentage of those people are watching your stories? Usually, when the number of followers is low, the conversion rate for story views is much higher, compared to what usually happens when you have a much larger audience. For example, if you happen to have 10,000 followers, your average story views will most likely range from about 1,000 to 3,000. But if you only have 1,000 followers, your average story views could be around 400, 600, or even as high as 700. On Instagram, if your audience is between 1,000 and 2,000, average story views are around 40 to 60%. While for 3,000 to 5,000 followers, stories should be viewed by 30 to 45% on average. I'm talking about the current relevant figures for today. And if you have 1,000 followers and an average of 40% of them watch your stories, it means you have a potential audience of 400 people to sell to, and that's no joke. If you take them seriously, work with them correctly and thoughtfully, and present yourself really well, you can quite easily make your very first sales on Instagram. But besides just posting stories of you driving, sitting, eating, or simply sharing the very best moments of your life, you should really try to manage your stories a bit more actively. Your main goal in this process of active management is to build people's trust in you, that is, to gain their confidence and make them feel a sense of likability toward you. Show people exactly what you do for a living and really get them interested in the kind of work that you are doing. Awaken a genuine desire in them to buy from you. That should always be the ultimate goal of your stories. So what things should you show to achieve this? It's your personal life. Where you're going, what you're doing, what you're busy with right now, and how your life is going, especially your lifestyle. Who you're meeting with and what the meeting is about. Why you're doing sports. Why you're reading books. What kind of professional work you're doing. And so on. Next is what's happening in your work process. Your work, who you're working with, how you're working, and what results you're getting. What stage were you at when you started your business? What stage have you reached now? How many people have you served so far? What did you sell to them? You gradually show things like their results. After that, you share your own thoughts. I think this is like this. I think this is wrong. I think this is right. This exists in our field. I think we should look into this. Many people make this mistake when buying this. I recommend that you don't make that mistake. and so on. And then there are your values and principles. What is the basis for your attitude toward work? On what basis do you work? By sharing your life decisions and similar things in your stories, you will gain the trust of your audience towards yourself. In a word, stories are used for warming up, and communication with the audience, with the people watching you, is strengthened. That is, it consists of talking to them more and establishing a sincere dialogue. Your next step is to show social proof, meaning how your transformation went. You can do this in stories as well. You can also do this in posts. You can do this with Reels too. What is the main purpose of social proof? It consists of showing that you are not stuck in one place, that you are making a real effort, and that there is growth and positive changes happening in your life. When you show your results, when you share the changes and achievements in your life with people and they see that you are truly growing, the number of inquiries will automatically increase. Meaning, this person is growing fast, this person is developing. Based on the idea that this person is trying and moving forward, interest in you will grow, and people's respect for you as both a professional and an individual will reach a new level. And when you show this transformation in a practical format, at what stage it started, what stage it has reached, and what is being achieved now, people will start to develop an interest in buying your service or product, and your first communications will be carried out in exactly this way. After that, you need to build a sales funnel for yourself. You can do this through Reels if you're posting them, or through stories if you're posting those, and then you plan where to direct them and how to close the sale with those people. For example, they watched a Reel, and after watching it, let's say you offered some service or product, there might be a phone call involved. They contact you by phone and a sale is made. However, setting up a sales funnel in this particular way is actually really the simplest and most basic method. But this specific tactic is recommended if you have a larger reach and more subscribers. If you have a small microblog with 1,000 or more followers at the start, the best advice is to do warm-ups through stories, similar to what we just discussed. It's recommended to post transformations, ongoing results, career growth, and life changes in posts and Reels while making your main sales through stories, because it's much easier to communicate in stories, explain a topic, and prompt the next action. In other words, something is happening. Let's say you have a service and you're showing how you're performing that service. You're making an offer like, I have the opportunity to consult with 2 or 3 people this week, and you say you'll provide this consultation for free to your subscribers. As part of that consultation, someone will DM you, they'll message you right from your stories, and that person automatically lands in your DMs. Once they're in your DMs, your communication begins, you exchange contacts, move over to Telegram, you can meet offline if you want, or if they're far away, you can talk online via Telegram video call or Zoom. You'll discuss what they do, their business, and explain how you can help them in their specific field or line of work, and that's where the sales offer is made. Okay, if you'd like, we can do this together, sir or ma'am. It doesn't matter. Let's do this together. I have some availability right now, and I can really help you out. If you're interested, let's make this happen. That's the proposal. On average, if you talk to 3 to 5 people at this stage, with a 50% conversion rate, if you talk to 4 people, you'll have the chance to attract 2 new clients. By repeating this over a longer period, you'll be able to increase those numbers even further. Whether you meet via Zoom or in person, always keep one thing in mind, l'espace. Let your golden rule be to give the client such a compelling offer. You're giving them a free consultation, learning about their problems, providing solutions right then and there, and on top of that, offering them your services. The core of your offer should be such that it would be foolish for them not to accept it. In other words, you're offering your service or product and it should be illogical for them to decline. For example, when we were offering our own services back in 2022 or 2023, if I recall correctly, I developed a great offer, a 6-month subscription model, where the payment for the full 6 months of working with us had to be made up front. This was around 2023, I believe, either 22 or 23. It was a one-time payment of $15,000. As part of this deal, our strong offer was that we would work together for 6 months, but the payment had to be upfront. The entire 6-month service fee was paid in advance. Our strong value proposition was that if you used our service, we would provide all of these specific things for you, which, given the market conditions at the time, was an excellent offer in itself. People were already paying that much for those same services. But since they were paying for 6 months upfront, what was our additional offer? Your profile would be advertised across my social media platforms, meaning you'd appear in Reels and be tagged in my stories. We offered a certain number of collaborative videos over those 6 months and mentions in my stories. Furthermore, we promised that if we worked for 6 months and didn't achieve a specific result, specifically if we didn't increase the follower count to a certain number during our 6-month effort, your payment for our service will be 100% refunded, meaning it was guaranteed, and from every angle, when that person bought this service from the market, they were getting these exact things. Besides that, we're including absolutely free advertising for them, and we're also teaching them exactly how to organize this through step-by-step training. And furthermore, we're saying that if there's no result in our overall work together, we'll give you a full 100% refund. And looking at it from their perspective, they said, yes, this is a great offer, okay? I accept. I made this exact offer to 3 people in a row, and all 3 of them accepted it. And we immediately adjusted the value included in the offer and implemented a price increase strategy, and that's how it went. And your main task should be this. When making an offer during the process, whether you're communicating, consulting, or just talking, you need to prepare an offer so good that it would be foolish for them not to accept it. Now you've learned how to do this, and once sales start happening, what is your main job after that? That's it. To constantly grow the audience that might buy from you or become your client. Basically, focus on your traffic. The most relevant way to do this right now is by creating content through Reels. Besides that, you can do collaborations, run ads, or even hold contests, or participate in podcasts, give interviews, and so on. There are so many ways and methods here, and you have the opportunity to use them all. Gradually, you should start applying these in your own work and business. The main thing you really need to know is that you have made an offer once and then a second time. For example, offering free consultations or mentioning a product in your stories again and again to the same people just won't yield results. You bring in traffic and share your message with a new audience, then bring in even more traffic for another new audience, and so on. If you present it in a different presentation format each time, you'll have consistently steady sales. If you keep telling the same audience, it'll eventually stop working.